Hey guys, here with another Road to Masters. We're in Platinum, as you can see, so we're getting into the really meaty part of our grind for sure. I think something to really focus on today is I'm going to intentionally put myself in a bad spot. I think people I focus a lot on my early game and trying to make that strongest, but sometimes it's hard to make strongest board. Sometimes we don't have all the understanding, all the unit knowledge, all that stuff. I highly suggest watching my other videos to know kind of how to make the strongest board. But what do you do from a bad spot is a really common question I have. My answer is don't put yourself in that spot in the first place, but that might be unrealistic, right? Maybe we don't hold the right things in early games. I'm going to hold the right things in early game just to show you guys what it is, but I'll try to play in an intentionally bad early game and show you kind of the common mistakes that people make in the early game that lead to them having the bad position, to lead to them being low HP, to lead to them to not having money. I think, it's important to know how to play these spots, and we're talking about, I try to put us in the best position. So let's hold this unit and let's hold these two units. I tried to put ourselves in the best position possible so that we can high roll and turn our maybe 5th place to a 1st place. But this video, I'm really going to be emphasizing how do I go from a bad placement, maybe my average placement or my expected placement would be 7, 8, all the way to like a 4th or 5th or something like that. So just know that making these mistakes are still mistakes. So try not to do it. I'm going to make a reasonable board right now, but I'll probably just try to sell things or not slam items or do some weird stuff. Equalize it quite a bit, but I'll try to do bad things in the meantime. So how do we put ourselves in a bad spot here? I think something that we could do is just take Meepsie straight up here. Would put us in a bad spot. Yeah, let's take a look here. Maybe we really like forcing Aurelian Soul. I'm trying to think here. This doesn't even make any sense. Maybe we just want to hard force a hero augment. Maybe that's something. So we're gonna be in a bad spot there. I could see that being a thing. So I think a lot of people would just play the Shepherd or something like that. And let's say I level, but I don't actually have a strong board, which is what I'm going to do now. I need to think about my slammable items here. And let's say I really was keen on Edge of Night, Hand of Justice, Jeweled Gauntlet, Meepsie. I can't have any slams here. So I'm going to level here and be very weak. So this is a big mistake, is leveling. Yes, I added a Nasus 2 to my board. It could be arguable that you put Leona in for Teemo, whatever, but I leveled to be weak here. This is a big mistake people do. And hopefully, I will say, hopefully I get punished for this. Notice how they have 2 slammables. I would argue their Last Whisper isn't super useful. I am in plat, so yeah, don't expect the world. But leveling here when you don't have a strong board doesn't make any sense. And if I don't have slammables that I'm willing to make, let's say I wanted to save this for half Edge of Night, this is for half JG, then I really don't have a board worth leveling for. Nothing makes my board stronger. Yes, the Nasus 2 is stronger, but you also need items. All about early game is about your combination of items, units, and your augment. Right now, I have a good augment. Maybe people really like this Big Bang augment. I think it's really fun at the very least, but I'm also not at the same time building a strong board. I have a mediocre board. I did get stronger with this Nasus 2 on my board, but I didn't make a strong board. And hopefully people are able to make stronger boards. It looks like maybe not. They're putting their Zoe in the front line and they're kind of holding between, so I might be able to beat this board. But in general, they would have 2 items over me. Hopefully you see that they would have 2 items over me. So in general, this level is what I would consider not very good. And also taking this augment is not very good if I'm not willing to slam things as well. So I think I have put myself into a bad spot. We'll see what actually ends up happening in this game, but I think I have put myself in a bad position already. Hopefully you guys see that it's a bad position given that I leveled for nothing. I don't want to say nothing, but I leveled to get slightly stronger and I have 5 components unwilling to slam something, and my augment is just a Meepsie 1 at this point, right? Let's sell a bunch of stuff. Sorry, just get it out of my head. And another thing I didn't do is scout to see if I am strong, blah, blah, blah. As you can see, this person has 4 items, so they should be much stronger. I like their spot. This person has 2 items slammed, really good synergistic items. Nashers is going to be paired with a JG eventually, and Gargoyles, good mix of frontline and backline. That's very good. This person's spot, they have a bunch of upgrades, but at the same time, the Last Whisper is not being used. So we can kind of see the different levels to this and how it can be affected. Dang, I think I'm winning again. because the other people are just not making good enough boards. But in general, I should get punished for this quite a bit for leveling here when it doesn't make much sense. Maybe I made too strong of a board here with Shepherds, and maybe this 2-star Nasus 2-star list was too much, so apologies for that. Yeah, people in Plat, in Emerald, in Diamond, even up to like, I would say Grandmaster, aren't that good at making their strongest board or choosing their strongest board given their augment. So if you can do that, that'll make you a lot stronger. Try to find those synergies in your early game with your item slams and your augments and your board, what actual boards you want. Here, you know, we do need gold. We also could buff up our Meepsie. I kind of am okay just buffing up our Meepsie here. And we want to get, let's just say we really want to get JG here. No Edge of Night. I know those are the two key components here. Let's just get JG here. I'm going to play really, really simplistically. I think I've had very good matchmaking to win these rounds, but there's a lot of strong people here in my lobby in general. I think they just have made different item choices throughout the game, I guess. Yeah. Or sorry, different matchmaking throughout the game. So we'll fight them at different times. I don't know what board I'm currently running. Oh, we're cutting corners as well. I didn't even realize. Voyager is probably too good on my board. I'm just going to play a 2-star Nasus for Nasus and sell everything else. Where should we put my Cosmic Hex? It looks like a lot of people are on right. I like putting my Meepsie on the same side as them because that's kind of how the hero works. And we're just going to blindly slam JG here. Maybe to intentionally lose. Maybe I shouldn't. Kind of worried about being strong, but whatever. I think I've already shown that I put myself, in my opinion, in a bad position by being in this spot. The other thing is, like, it's okay to hold items. It's okay to hold items as long as you have a future with your items. It's okay if I hold JG here, hold for JG, hold for Edge of Night, as long as I have a future here. I need to be stronger later in the game. I need to be stronger later in the game. I don't necessarily need to be strong right now. Let me make a quick planner here. So something like this is the Big Bang board. I'll try to put myself in a worse position. The ways you can make money in TFT are by streaking, making econ, and by traits. I'm going to go ahead and sell this, just add something. Even though I'm on win streak, so I see some people do this actually a lot of the times is, one, they think frontliners are all the same. They think Pike is a frontliner, so he's tanky, right? That's not true. He is a assassin, so he's not very strong. And people would try to make money here. Notice that if I played a stronger board, I could keep my streak. That's really important. Win the round. That gives me 1 gold. And then streaking also gives me additional golds here. So I wouldn't sell Nasus here in my games, but I want to show what people would generally think. They're like, oh, I need to make money here. It's really important that I make 30 because once I make 30, I can make 40, I can make 50, blah, blah, blah. I've heard that rule before, but what matters is the money that you make. So hopefully you see, again, I'm putting myself in bad positions here. I'm putting myself in bad positions, not playing my strongest board, not doing all the good stuff that I'm supposed to do, and instead doing bad stuff. Like I would imagine that some people might even sell this here, and I would think that this is a mistake as well. But you know, I do see people make this mistake. They're like, I must make interest. I must make interest. You can make money through winning rounds, as it says here, and streaking. You can also make money through traits. I don't have any traits, but Primordian is a good trait to make money off of. Timebreaker is a trait to make money off of. And you can also get it through Econ itself. Econ augments itself. So if you're ready to actually start climbing, head over to tftgameplan.com. dpei's Disciples is my monthly coaching membership, and it gives you full access to my daily meta reads, weekly live Q&As, personalized feedback with unlimited spot reviews, and full access to my library of past coaching sessions, all for $15 a month. One-on-one coaching is also available if you want to improve even faster. Links are in the description below. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Let's sell this for interest. So I'm going to continue to make the same mistakes. Hey, I know that Edge of Night is really good on Meepsie, and I don't know, I want to save this for Hand of Justice. Maybe we can make anti-heal instead. I think I would just go ahead and make a Void Staff, Sunfire Cape, and then go for BT here normally. But I think this is something that people get stuck on is I need BIS. Yes, Hodge synergizes with Jeweled Gauntlet, but I don't know if you guys noticed, I don't have a Hand of Justice. I don't have a glove. So I should be willing to make other items. And I need to get Shred at some point. Shred and anti-heal at some point. Wow, I win. I'd be willing to make that now. That would be the correct move to make, but I'm going to make the wrong move here and just greed for Hand of Justice. And what can I make with these leftover items? Nashers doesn't make that much sense. Gargoyles, maybe David. dpei told me anti-heal is really important. Let's just make Sunfire Cape and greed for Hodge. Lotus doesn't make much sense with my whole Meepsie thing. The whole fact that I have Jeweled Gauntlet, so let's flip that. Tiny but Deadly might not make sense. Maybe I want to go for Golden Gamble here and look for Radiant Hand of Justice, or maybe I want money. I'm not sure what most people would do here, actually. I think most people would probably click money here. I would probably take Golden Gamble, but I think there's nothing wrong with money. And I think most people would just sit above 80 here, not level and roll. I would level and roll because I just won and I want a win streak, but I'm showing you guys what I think the typical player does. This is like a bad spot, right? How to play perfectly incorrectly. At some point, I'm going to try to play correctly. But I think here, we're just reducing our tempo a lot by not hitting Meepsie 2 on this stage. I think it's okay not to roll here, but I think on the win, it makes more sense. If I was Meepsie pair, I don't care how much invested gives me. I would really, really, really try. Wow, I'm winning every round. You know, this hero augment is really good. I would be trying with Meepsie pair to really like make myself stronger as much as possible and win these rounds, because Meepsie 2 is going to be winning out this stage. Hopefully you see even Meepsie 1 with these items is pretty good. And again, we have 3 components left on bench and I'm not using it very aggressively, which I think is a problem. I think this is a mistake a lot of people would make. So again, I'm teaching you how to do things. This is what that some like platinum players might do, and I'm trying to tell you why it's wrong. So we should level here on even interval, and let's just use our free rolls and roll for the exact board. I think a lot of people wouldn't make this Gragas. I would make this Gragas because it's strongest board here. In fact, at some point you got to play normally. I think I put myself, in my opinion, I put myself in a bad enough position here, and I'm just going to have this. And again, here I would roll. I have 2 big pairs here. I would roll personally. I would roll here, but you know, I think a lot of people are like, oh, but you won't hit invested, blah, blah, blah. But saving the HP is really important. Winning these rounds is important. I don't know who's in my pool, but I'd imagine that I'm really, really weak because I took an econ augment and I'm not using it right now. I'm barely using it. I haven't used any of the 26 gold, and I'm just using the free rolls. I'm using the second part of it for sure I am, but I'm not using the whole part of it. Unfortunately, we're a bit strong. I will say this probably is a, you know, this is still a platinum lobby, so I am making platinum level mistakes, but other people are also making platinum level mistakes. So it's pretty understandable that I'm still 80 HP, one of the strongest peoples in the lobby, but hopefully you guys do see that these are mistakes here. Dang, we got Solar Hex, but we already built anti-heal, no problem. Let's just take gold. Gold isn't bad. I'm playing a reroll comp. Let's definitely do that. Oh, no Hand of Justice. It's okay. Let's make a Void Staff, and then this is half Hand of Justice right here, right? We're greeding for BIS, which I think is also a mistake. Hopefully you see these are all mistakes. It might be working out in my game to some extent, but I'm telling you I can have a much better game if I, you know, choose things that are closer to me, choose things that are a bit more, you know, logical and more fundamentally sound as I go through my other videos. Let's just slow roll above 80. My gosh, we're almost Gragas 3. I really want to play Gragas 3, but I'm not. Oops, I overrolled. I did that instinctively. Apologies about that. I think people... I'm trying to, like, play as weak of a board as possible, actually, believe it or not. I think a lot of people would do something like this. Sell their Gragas to play the Victor on board. I would actually never do this, just to be super clear. I would never do this in my game. This is bad because I've lost my only good frontliner and I don't need more backline damage. I actually just need Meepsie to keep stomping about. And how you're going to get that to happen is by having a good, strong frontline. Obviously, this person is running AD Lulu, so they're not going to be very, very strong at all. So they're making big fundamental mistakes here by running an AD Lulu. They're really trying to force Xayah here, I believe. But that's not how you do it. They should definitely just play a Corki instead. I know they need to play Mountain, but yeah, let's take a quick look at their board. They don't need to be playing 5 Stargazer. I'm guessing Corki would have won this fight super duper easily. Yeah, Corki would have won this fight super duper easily. You need to have items that fit your unit. They do figure it out, so that's very good from them. But again, from my side, probably shouldn't be even winning these rounds, to be completely honest. I'm going to try to play the exact board that the site told me, which I think is pretty reasonable. This is also an upgrade because it does give me good front line, does give me good back line. I do have a good mix here. Yes, I don't have a Lowy 2-star. Gragas 2 was going to be a lot stronger for a long time. I should have stayed on it, but I'm showing you guys kind of like the typical mistakes of a platinum player or an emerald player or something like that. Yeah. We are unfortunately winning every round despite not being strong. I think once we get Meepsie 2, we are strong, but there should be other people who are strong. For example, yeah, just even that last round, the Corki person should have played Corki and cleared me. Or sorry, the Mountain person should have played Corki and cleared me. I'm going to put the exact board that was on TFT Academy, that was on Meta TFT for Meepsie or whatever, and play exactly that. That's a mistake as well. Hopefully you guys see that Gragas 2 Pantheon was a lot stronger. And I don't know all the variations of the Meepsie board, but I was also close to Gragas 3, which I think is no slouch as well. Surely Gragas 2 is stronger than Alawi 1 and Mordekaiser 1 right now. 6 gold is better than 3 or 2 gold. In either of these cases, I'm a simple person, but that heuristic does work here as well. I'm going to keep all the units in my reroll comp that I'm supposed to. No Hand of Justice. Again, here I think we should be really willing to make BT. At some point, I'm going to play normally, I will say. I'm just going to roll on this level for my exact board. Just going to keep pressing D over and over again. I don't think I'm actually supposed to make this, but I'm going to make it, whatever. I personally think I would just make BT here and be thinking about, okay, we just conceptually all we need is healing. All we conceptually need, sorry, is healing on Meepsie. She wants to be a fighter, so BT is totally acceptable. Yes, it's on Hand of Justice, but BT is acceptable. I'm going to start playing normally now. I think I put myself, in my opinion, in a bad enough spot. I know it doesn't look that bad of a spot. It isn't, but I made a lot of bad decisions there. I don't know how many bad decisions I can keep making realistically, while also playing like while this is also being instructional. I can move this BT over to Pike later, right? I can go for Hodge later, or I could just completely ignore it and be okay with slightly suboptimal, and I will say slightly suboptimal items here. I'm sure Hand of Justice is a lot better because it does synergize with Jeweled Gauntlet. I'm sure that's true, but at the same time, it is a healing item, and I don't have Hand of Justice. Obviously, if I was loose streaking, I could pop the Anvil and get better. I somehow one streak this game, but yeah. I'm really thinking about Twin Guardian here, and Boxing Light. All these make sense. I kind of want to do something like this and drag everything down. This is kind of like the normal, I don't know, normal positioning. The typical positioning with like Pike to kind of part the Red Sea here a bit, and so that my Meepsie can go to backline and my Pike can go to right side and my Meepsie can assassinate on this side. So I think I'm really willing to move off this Hex later into the game, but I think people would not be willing. This Cosmic Hex has scaled up my Meepsie for sure. I don't need to get the exact thing. Oh, this person's contesting me, the victors, or I guess I'm contesting him. I don't know how we want to view it, but I feel like they're contesting my comp. I'm the reroll comp. I kind of picked it on 2-1. I think they're contesting me personally. But yeah, I think here again, this is the opposite of my reroll video. I would be digging quite deep here for Meepsie because these rounds are important. What did I lose? 21 HP. I went from 80 HP to 59 HP in the blink of an eye. I went from a really good spot to a really bad spot, so I should be rolling here quite heavily. I'm gonna sell the Ross. That was my bad for even making it in the first place. I think a lot of people would keep re-rolling here. Okay, well now I'm kind of missing my Rost, which is quite sad. I think people would not level for this one unit, which in my opinion is crazy. I'm gonna play strongest board here. I'm gonna try to start playing, I think, as normally as I would. I'm trying to get a 3-item tank. I already have a 3-item carry, so I'm not gonna, I think a lot of people would try to go for Rabadons here or something like that. They know that's BIS Victor. They're like, I'm close to Victor 3, blah, blah, blah. Even though I'm contested, I'll hit Victor eventually. I've invested. That's true, but I really want 3-item tank, I think, more so than anything. Again, Meepsie, she's not a tank, she's a fighter. She doesn't want to proc her Edge of Night if she can't. I don't know if Meepsie is actually a girl, sorry. It doesn't want to proc its Edge of Night or use its BT if it can. It really wants to use as much as possible. Just keep damaging, keep jumping, keep casting its ult, right? That's what we wanted to do. So I should really get a Mordekaiser item here, or sorry, a tank item here, which I think the best tank item here would be Crown Guard. It's really the only tank item. Spark is not really a damage item. Plus we already have Ionics. We already have, what's it called as well? Void Staff as well. Acceleration Hex makes, I would think, a lot of sense actually. On my current board, we can buff up my Victor a bit. What do we think? Buff up Victor. Attack speed is important. Or do we need gold? We don't really need gold. So let's just get attack speed. We did not get any of the things that I wanted with frontline or backline. Maybe we have to make a JG here and call it a day. I do want to think about Nami as well. Yeah, we don't really have an in, so I am pretty willing to roll for an in of some sort. Also, we're still rolling for Pike and Alawi. We want to move this back over. I'm going to put the acceleration hex over here. I would still keep rolling normally. Added a Voyager, that's good at the very least. Should we slam JG? Probably, and just look for a tank item on carousel. I don't want to keep losing rounds, and every time you don't have an item slammed, you're losing a lot of power onto your board. You're really losing a lot of power onto your board, yeah. So, I don't know if I'm playing around Victor 3. I don't know if I'm playing around Nami. It really depends on that person contesting me, so I think I can probably go for Victor 3. Should I roll on this level or not? I probably should roll on this level. I still am. I'm really, really close to Pike. I'm really close to Pike, and I'm also, I think Alawi 3, Mord 3. I still need a 3-star frontliner, ideally with something like Invested. Hopefully you see I've been full greeting my gold, and I'm personally not a big fan of this. I don't really like full greeting my gold here. Yeah, I don't think it makes that much sense, but I will do it here. We have no items for our Pike, so another thing that people get confused is like, oh, I need to itemize this Pike. We still need 3-item frontline, 3-item backline, and I did need a Void Staff, so it sucks that our Pike has nothing to show for it here, but we still make it. It's kind of free along the way. Sometimes you wouldn't make this if you were in a poor situation. Obviously, I'm very, very rich because I took a Giga Econ Augment. We don't need to itemize this Pike because it isn't the core concept of our comp. Our core concept is let's enable Meepsie. That's our hero augment. Pike helps us by, you know, getting these backline units and helping Meepsie assassinate backline. That is definitely a way to help them out, but the bigger thing that we need is frontline, and then we do need a solid another duo carry over here, and we have to build a Void Staff, so that's why our duo carry is in fact an AP carry and not the Pike carry that it normally is. So I think I want to roll for Victor 3 here. We could go level 8 and be strong, but I'm still rolling, in my opinion, I'm still rolling for Rost here. So I'm pretty happy with this. This is Crown Guard, but I could get more gold here. Crown Guard's pretty acceptable though. Crown Guard is pretty acceptable. Let's see if we can get something better. This is a backline item. We don't really want that. That's a backline item. This is Bramble. This is also pretty good. Let's see. Lobby is mostly AP, so I'm gonna keep digging. Maybe I should have just been okay with the first Crown Guard. I probably was being a greedy boy. And probably should just make a Crown Guard here. And just add this to you, or sure, whatever. I'm going to keep rolling for Victor here, and hopefully I can also 3-star many, many things. I think Rost is a bit better here, and then it also allows me to keep rolling. I think normally we should really roll for this Victor, but I'm going to show the power of greed here. We have HP to sack, but I'm not super happy about it. We really want to hit Alawi 3, and I'm not sure, even with this much gold, if I can hit Alawi 3. So we're going to really need to maximize my gold here as much as possible. I'm on the wrong side in most of these matchups. I think I should just move over. But it's kind of hard with 2 hexes. With 2 hexes, it's kind of hard to move over mentally. But I think it's correct, especially if you're playing like an assassin in this comp. Like Meepsie, I know that it says she's a magic fighter, but she's basically an assassin, right? With how she operates, she wants to like jump into your backline and hit everything. So yeah, she's a bit more of an assassin. So getting the side correct is really important. Even getting this Pike to go over here is really important as well. One more cast. Boom. Oh, wow. So close. you know, if we have Victor 3 here, we win this fight. At some point, your HP becomes more important than your gold. And I think at stage 4 and stage 5, it definitely is more important. I'm going to roll all the way here. I have 3. I can realistically hit Alawi here. I don't think it's ridiculous. But I'm also really willing to hit Mordekaiser as well. I'm not going to be picky about which frontliner I hit. Now I'm 1 off. I think it is worth sending 0. I could have 80 gold, 100 gold, but if I... Sorry, I should keep rolling before I explain my point. If I have the 0 HP or 1 life, it doesn't really matter how much gold I saved up. Truly, it does not matter how much gold I saved up. It only matters if I win the next fight. Like, winning fights matters a lot more at a certain point, and with 38 HP we probably have like what, 3 lives. If we're not guaranteed to win out, I think everyone wants to play for the highest cap, and that's fair enough. You want to play for a high cap, but you also... I'm gonna sell this Mordekaiser. I don't think I'm going for more than 3 here. We're just 1 off Alawi. Yeah, I think we really just want to play for our placements here. We don't really know. I haven't been scouting. Most importantly, I've been scouting to know if I am the strongest. So I'm 1 off here. Yes, I can lose 2 interest here. I could save 2 interest by doing this, but really I don't care how much interest it costs. So let's always pick up that. I don't care how much interest it costs. Even if I roll 0 here and miss, let's say I roll true 0 here, true 0 here. Let's say I roll 0 and miss here. That's no problem. I had a chance at getting a lot stronger. And if this is the difference between winning and losing this fight, this could be a 12 HP diff. That could be placements diff, right? I'm so close to hitting. I haven't counted the Alawis. I should probably count the Alawis, but 1 off, I'm probably always rolling here. Yes, there's an argument for like not rolling all our gold versus this person or whatever. Only if you have perfect scouting can you really make that decision. But here, I'd be really hard pressed to believe that this wasn't an Alawi 3 diff. We are so close. My Meepsie just needed 1 more ult and it clears the entire board. But instead I lose 15 HP, which is really important. Here, I don't know. We want more frontline, I would think. We could get this person a real item, but we could also get Pike some items as well. Also probably fine. I just rolled those last 2 because I was kind of getting a little mad. I do want my Sunfire on the same side, so are you my second strongest tank? Probably. Let's put you on the same side as my other people so we're spreading the right things here. So again, yes, it sucks that I missed. It definitely sucks that I missed, but it was always the correct move. When you're 1 off and you can get a big power spike, saving 15 HP is infinitely more than making 2 more gold in a turn or whatever it is, right? It's way better. Yeah, and same with my Victor spike. It's a big spike. We should definitely try to do that. Again, even here, we get wrapped, and that's because my Alawi isn't strong enough. This person's winning on 1-star Riven, 1-star Nami, so my board obviously isn't very good, right? It's clear that it's not very good. We did top 4, but I think this game could have gone a lot better. We've put ourselves into bad positions, and it now makes us less forgiving for these late game fights, because if I just saved HP earlier in the earlier stages by rolling for Meepsie 2, by rolling more aggressively down for Victor, we would have more lives, which means we would actually have more money, believe it or not. We would actually have more money in a lot of cases, because I just get to see the next shop. I get to get the income. I think people forget you get 5 gold a round just for living, for being alive. And I think I'm going to put my Pike over here to try to grab the Lulu. I think that's really important as well. I probably should have just put my Alawi over on left as well, to be honest. I'm kind of greeting the Twin Guardians super hard here, which I think is very ill-advised, if I'm being completely honest. My Pike did grab the Lulu, but I didn't put the Meepsie on the same side. We should also be really willing to sacrifice my Cosmic Hex for a stronger board. I think we're probably going to die here, and it's not super surprising. I feel like I know you guys don't believe me, but I really feel like I put myself in a bad spot when the lobby was really weak. My comp doesn't cap out nearly as high as a lot of these boards. These are mountain infinite scaling. They have many 2-star 4 costs. spreading roots. These boards are really good. Savings accounts into 3-star everything, right? They 3-starred practically every really important thing. They can still get stronger. They're still one off of these guys, right? So these people are really strong playing premier lines. I'm playing a really fun line. I think Big Bang is really, really fun. If you haven't had a chance to play it, I think it's really fun. You can do a lot more fun positioning stuff like moving left and right. But the whole point is that I could have saved HP, could have played better in the early game so that I could have turned this, like, maybe this was a 5th in other lobbies or a 6th or a 3rd. I could have turned this middle placement to an even higher placement by doing the right thing here. I think I did good enough things to end up with a 4th here, but definitely not good enough to win the game. I think I could win the game or end up with 2nd or 3rd very, very easily by just playing a little bit better. So hopefully you guys see that, you know, the mistakes we're making and why they're mistakes and why these are common pitfalls at lower elos and how we can go about fixing them, right? These people's caps are insane. It's Fiora 2, Riven 2, Xayah 2. They're about to be Jin 2. This person hit everything in their everything possible on this Lulu board. These are really, really strong boards. They got to it maybe by being a little more greedy and stuff like that. We can be greedy and play for high caps, but if you don't know where the cap of your board is or how strong it is, you can definitely just get more and more solid placements by playing just fundamentally sound, which is what I try to teach on this channel as much as possible. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys like this vid where I do make a bunch of mistakes, put myself in what I think is a bad spot, and how we try to recover from that as well. I started playing normally starting stage 4, stage 5, I think, is when I started playing a bit more normally. So hopefully you can see how we can recover our games from those bad spots as well. And as always, thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great day.